In this dashboard creation of retail store analysis, there are four parts that we follow. The first thing, we upload our data asset into our Tableau, and nextly we will create a different kind of visualization, and then we will create a dashboard, and then in the last we will add interactivity in our dashboard. So here is an overview of our dataset. In our dataset we have total of 8 columns, which is a transaction ID, date, customer ID, gender, age, product category, quantity, price per unit, and total amount. So total amount is the sales in our dashboard, and you can see in our age we have different age categories, like our minimum value in the age categories is 16 and maximum value is a 64. In this dashboard we have to create a different kind of visualization. That first one is the total sales by month. So we have to represent our total amount as to be a total sales, and in the next visualization we choose the total average sales by product category. So we have to choose the same total amount as a sales and then product category. And in the third visualization we have to choose the quantity sold in different age categories by gender. So as you know, in our age category we have different kind of values. Instead of writing it as usual, we can create a groups of our different age categories. And in the last we have to write an KPI. So in the KPIs, firstly we can see the total sales, and then we can see the total quantity of product that is being sold, and then we can see the average sales per transaction that we have made, and at the last we can see about the total transactions that are made in our dataset. So let's start our dashboard creation process. Now I'm here in my Tableau account, and I'm going to create clicking on create a quiz, and here's come an interface, and I'm going to choose upload from my computer, and I'm going to select our dataset of retail store, and it is going to upload it. Now on here I'm going to choose update now, and you can see an interface of an overview of our dataset, which shows the rows and columns of our dataset. And I'm going to click on the sheet 1 to create our first visualization. It's depend on your internet speeds, like how long it takes to go to sheet 1. So in our first visualization we have to create a total sales by month. So I'm going to choose total amount and the date. As you can see, in the date section we have years, but we have to see our data in the form of months. So I right click on my year and choose month instead of years, and now you can see it is processing. And our data in our data we have a month in our y-axis, but we wanted to choose it into the x-axis. So I choose on this swap rows to column, and our data set is clear. Now I wanted to see the total amount as a sale into label, so I drag my total amount into label, and now I right click on this total amount and choose format number. As our sales is in the currency, so I choose currency custom, and in our display unit I wanted to choose 1000 K, and I wanted to show my result into a 0 decimal, so I choose this 0 decimal places. Now you can see we have our sales in the form of currency and in form of 1000 and have 0 decimal. Now I didn't want it to show these headers, so I remove this show header, and I also did not want it to show this date, so I choose hide for data field. And now it's time to set the title of our sheet. So I right click on my sheet 1 and then edit title, and I'm going to give it title to be as sales per month. And I'm also going to give the sheet 1 name. I right click on it and go to rename, and also give the same name as I provided to my sheet 1 title. And now it's time to create our second visualization. So I right click on this plus sign beside of the sales per month, and our sheet 2 is created. In the sheet 2 we have to choose the sales by category, so I choose total sale and also another column of product category, as you can see. But this time we did not want it to see our sales as like total amount in terms of sum. We wanted to choose it in the form of average, so I right click on it and then measures and then choose average of total amount. And now I wanted to see the data labels of these total amount into my visualization, so I drag this total amount into the label, and now I'm clicking on it. As I discussed earlier that we are discussing about currency as our total sales, so I do the same step as I do in my previous visualizations of making it display units into thousand and making into zero decimal places. Now we'll get rid of this show headers and also this product category. And now it's time to give the name of this sheet to, and I'm going to right click on it and then edit title, and I'm giving it a name to be as sales by product category. And I also give this same name into our sheet 2, as you can see in the left bottom side. I right click on this sheet 2 and then rename, and then write it to be sales per category. Now it's time to create a third visualization. So in the third visualization we have to see the age based on other factors. As now you can see, as you know, we have different values in our age section. So our minimum value in the age is 18 and the maximum value in the age is 64. So now we create our bins, as our starting bin is 18 and our last bin value is 64. So I create a calculated measure. So in this calculated measure I use the if else statement. So firstly I write that if our age is greater than 16, as our minimum value is 18, so I just wanted to create a sequence, so I choose 16. If our age is greater than equal to 16 and also our age is less than equal to 25, then it is included into 16 to 25. And then I write else if statement, and I choose that if our age is 26 greater than equal to 26 and our age is less than equal to 35, then it's included into 26 and 35. So instead of writing it again, this else if statement, I just copy and then paste it and then change the numbers inside it. So what it can do when you execute over this query, so firstly, if we have our age between 60 to 25, then it gives a value 16 to 25, and if our value is between 26 and 35, then it gives us the 16, 26 to 35, and same is for all of the other values. So by this we can create our bins, and in the last I choose else statement in which I write that if it is not included in these category, then write the age has to be a 66 plus. And in the last I choose the end and close my calculated measure of if else statement. Now you can see here we have created our age bins, and I selected it, and then I'm going to choose our quantity, sum of our quantity, and also our gender, and I wanted to choose it instead of y-axis. I wanted to choose into right axis, and I wanted to change my visualizations into this stack column chart. So I click on the show me and then choose this stock chart. Now what I wanted to choose this quantity as to my label, so I drag it into my label field and I remove these headers and age bins value, and I'm going to give the title of our sheet 3 as to be quantity sold by quantity sold in different age categories by gender. And I'm going to give the same name into our below sheet 3. So I just right click on it and then rename and then give it the name. Now in the last I'm going to create the KPIs. So in the KPIs, firstly I'm going to choose the sum of total sales. So I choose this total amount, and I wanted to see it in the form of column instead of any visual. I wanted to choose it in the form of table instead of any other visualization. The sum of quantity sold. So I am dragging my this quantity column into my rows, and same I wanted to see my result based on table, so I click on this table. And now it's time to create our measure for creating for sales per transaction. So I right click on the little bit dot that you are seeing in the search, beside of this search. I right click on it, then calculate, and then click on calculated measure, and we have to choose sales per transaction. So we have to choose the two columns, which is the sales, and sales is represented by total amount, and the selling is transaction, and transaction is represented by transaction ID. So I choose sum of this total amount and divided by count D of this transaction ID. So what it can give us, that it can gives the value of sales per transaction that is happening in our retail store. And I choose this count D that represented that in our transaction ID we have a non-numerical data, so it counts, count D can count the values in the transaction ID. There's one more thing that you have to remember, that you have to use this brackets, and then for the you have to use the two brackets for our selecting of our column name. Like you can see here, we use the two brackets for representing our columns. Now it is the average of sales per transaction. And now there is a last KPI that we have to use, and which is the distance count of the transaction IDs. So I choose transaction ID, and the measure I choose distance count of our transaction ID, and I want to represent in the form of table. So now in the form of wanted to represent my data in the form of columns instead of row though, so I choose swap row with the column function, and it gives me the value. Now I right click on any of the values and choose format worksheet. So in the format worksheet I choose my pan Tableau book into 15 and my header of Tableau book into 60. So now you can see over result that there is a values that are being increased. Now I wanted to fit into the entire view, and now you can see here. Now I just wanted to rename my these KPIs, and I right click on the KPIs and then choose edit alias, and I wanted to give it the name that I think that best suitable. Now you can see, firstly I choose total transaction, and now I replace total amount with total sales, and for the quantity I choose quantity sold. And everything is good. Now I just wanted to rearrange my these KPIs. Like on first I wanted to see the total sales. So what I can do is that I choose the sum of total sales and drag into upward, and now you can see our total sales is on first, and I wanted to choose this average sales per transaction on second, and then I drag this average sale per transaction on the second one. Now it's time to edit our numbers, so I right click on it and edit our numbers, and then I choose current custom column, as because our total sale represent in the form of currency. So I choose the same thing as I do in my visualization for changing for the total sales. And now I also choose change this number currency of average sales per transaction, chooses into where 0 decimal places, and for the total transaction I change the number into number custom, and I wanted to choose into be as 0 decimal places, and wanted to choose into be 1000, because transaction is not the currency, it is the number value. And the last I also choose my format number into a number custom, and I wanted to display unit into be as 1000, and I wanted to choose its decimal places into 1, because 2.5 and 5 is a half of the other digit, so I choose to rename it, to keep it instead of removing it into a 0 decimal places. Now I just right click on it and go to my format worksheet, and I wanted to see my pan and header into the center value, so I select it here. Now it's time to rename our sheet, and I wanted to give it to name as to be a KPIs. I right click on it and then edit title and give it the name as KPIs. Now also give the same name into my sheet 4 in the bottom. Now it's time to create the customization of our visualization. So for this, I click on the sales per menu, and in the format on the above, I choose format my worksheet, and I go into my lines and I remove this grid line and making it to be as off instead of on. So now what you can see, the lines, the grid line that is behind our visualization of this line chart is being off. And I do the same process to my other two visualization of sales per category and quantity sold in different ages. I make these grid lines into be off, and also the zero lines to be as off. Now you can see the lines between our header and our pan. So I just click on my borders and remove this row divider. So now you can see the lines between both of them are being removed. It is our clean visualization. Now I click on this plus sign for 4 boxes. But before that, it's time to create our color of visualization is slightly better. So I click on the colors and choose this blue color, and I wanted to choose the dark color with the female and light color with the males. And you can see our color is being changed. Now I'm going to give the same colors to my other two visualizations. I'm choosing the second blue color, and then in my first visualization I also choose the second blue color. Now it's time to create our dashboard. So now I click on this create a dashboard. Our dashboard is being created. Now it's time to select its size. So I wanted to choose my width into be 1200 and my height into be 600. This is good for visualization. So instead of a tile, I choose floating. Floating is much more easier than to be a tile. Firstly, I'm going to select the title of our dashboard, and I'm choosing my title into be as retail, store and sales analysis, and I'm giving its size into be as 20 and making it to a bold and underline. And now I'm dragging it into above, and I'm adjusting its size. No, so now firstly I'm choosing my KPIs. So I'm now adjusting its size, and here you can see the KPIs. Title of our sheet I didn't want to choose, so I right click on it, then choose hide title. And now I wanted to choose my first visualization, which is the sales per month. I simply drag on it, and now I'm adjusting its size, and then I'm choosing sales per category, and the last I'm choosing this quantity sold in different ages by gender. I'm adjusting its size, and now I'm just removing this males and females representation of colors. If someone wanted to see it, they can simply go into sheets and can see it. Now I just right click on this dot arrow and choose my all of the visualization fit is into the entire view, just to avoid any kind of confusion. So now I'm going to format and then into dashboard, and wanted to see my dashboard color into a light gray color, as you can see here. So now I'm adjusting my visualization. My dashboard color becomes blue, my dashboard color become light gray. So now it's look much better. Now all of our dashboard is being set. Now it's time to create the interactivity in our dashboard. Now you click on the any one of the point and you wanted to see other things are not changed. So the reason behind it is that we did not use the filter. Now if you click on this filter icon in each of the visualization and make it to be as on, then now if you click on the any point in the visualization, then the whole dashboard represent the data according to this same point. As now you can see I click on this April, so our data represented April dataset. I just make sure our filter is being on and it will create it, add the creativity on our dashboard. So this is all from our retail stores sales dashboard, which is the first dashboard in our Tableau series. If you click on this download icon, then you can download it in a different way as you want it. And now I wanted to publish it, so I click on this publish it and giving is a valid name which suits my dashboard, and I'm giving it to name to be as a retail stores sales analysis, and I'm clicking on it. Okay, and now our dashboard is being published. It is taking a few times. It's depending on the speed of your internet. Now I'm clicking on this cross sign and I'm going to my profile, and now you can see here is our dashboard that we publish. And now if you click on the three dots and you didn't want it that some other person can see it, so just simply hide your dashboard. And now if I click on my dashboard, here is the dashboard that we created. Now if you click on this download button, there is so many options that you wanted to download, and if you wanted to edit our dashboard, just simply click on this edit button and you can go into the tab where you edit it.